So then, after you've done this, then you can get more detailed. So let me show you how to. Let's move all that to one side. Let's erase this arrow that I was using to demonstrate. All right, so now let's draw a woman, shall we? So feel free to practice that. Oh, also, I don't think I mentioned. So if you're looking, when I drew this line, the pectoral line, if we're looking from up above, then you want that line to go like this, arch upwards, like it's a rainbow. But if we're looking from down below, oh, excuse me, from up, did I say it right? If we are higher than the man, this man, then you want all of your horizontal lines to have a little curve downwards, as if it's smiling instead of frowning. And if we are looking up from below, then that line is going to be up. So notice that this the pectoral line is curved up and the waistline is curved down. Let's get rid of this because you're not going to see that. The waistline is curved down, so that must mean that our eye line, our horizon line, is approximately somewhere in between those two, right? Still think his legs are too small, too short, so I could make the rest of him smaller, I guess. Let's get rid of select, deselect. Let's get rid of that horizon line I just drew, one dash at a time. So I'm not going to be a perfectionist about this right now, although it does seem like I'm being perfectionist right the heck now. All right, I think that even things out a bit, backing up to look at my work, select, deselect. All right, I think we're happy with that. So now, page 2, how to draw a simplified woman. So once again, we're going to start, this is going to be very similar to what we've already done, simplified man. This is going to be a simplified woman, so I'm going to start with measuring how tall we want her to be. Here's the head. Here's where the feet are going to be. I'm going to hydrate, pardon me. And then the waist is going to be here. The head is 1/3 from the top and 2/3 from the waist. All right, so first we're going to angle the back. We're going to make an angled back and a curved front. So not really an oval. Notice how sharp this angle is. And then we're going to make the curved sternum line. And now we draw the rib cage oval. So the rib cage oval is going to fit fit right in between the top of that angle, the top of that harsh angle, and the top part of the curve. It's like it's easier to show you than than it is to talk about it. Now, still looking at my notes. I'm cheating. I'm not cheating. There's no cheating in baseball. All right, so now we're going to draw the upside down U as if that's the bottom of the rib cage. So you're imagining the rib cage being the oval, then the bottom of the rib cage is that U that you just drew. Next is the collarbone. We're going to angle it going this way this time instead of being straight across. And instead of using elongated teardrops, we're just going to make circles for the deltoid. And because this is behind the figure, this circle is going to be partially hidden. Hey, Rogue Chalk. Hello, first time chatter. Rogue Chalk 1337. Pleased to meet you. All right, now, so of course, this is going to be not seen behind the rib cage, so we're going to erase that. And so next, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? So next we're going to draw the pelvis. We're going to draw a pentagon for the pelvis. So the pentagon starts here and just like a pentagon, like a big office building in Washington. So we're going to start with the pentagon approximately here. So where the rib cage meets, where that intersects, is where I'm going to start that pentagon. So now the pentagon, the pelvis, the pentagonal pelvis is where we're going to start the leg line. So this is where the knees are going to be. And now we're going to, with one line, go all the way from the waist to the feet. So curve out, curve in, curve out, curve in. Maybe that was, let's do that again. Undo, let's do that again. Curve out, curve in, curve out, curve in. And then the inside of the leg is going to be mostly a straight line. And then the inside of the leg, the other inside of the leg, is going to be curve in, curve out, curve in. And then this can go straight down, mostly straight down. But then let's give it some nuance. And then let's give it a knee. And So as you can see, these are geometric shapes, and we're just going to simplify it. And after it's been simplified, then you can complicate it. uh, only simplified for as long as you need it to be simplified. And like I said I wasn't going to try too hard to make this look perfect, but I really can't help myself. So what this method is good for is determining where the parts are going to be, and then you can get detailed, uh, much more detailed after you have done that. The next one is let's work on the arms now. So the elbows are going to be within this radius where the hips start, or the waistline starts rather. So I'm going to draw one elbow, I'm going to make it a circle. And over here, I'm going to draw another circle. And I'm going to make them smaller. Make sure that you make them smaller than your shoulder deltoids, but not as small as the wrists. So I'm going to connect these two circles, the straight lines. Pardon me while I hydrate again. And now, speaking of the wrists, let's draw those wrists smaller than your elbows and connect those with straight lines. And then we're going to, so the female hand is different from the male hand. The female hand tapers a little bit more than, so the way I think of it is here's your wrist in this position, which is going to have a wrist, which is kind of like a, what do you call that in geometry class? That shape, it's not a parallelogram. It's escaping me, a trapezoid? Yes, trapezoid. So make one trapezoid and then connecting trapezoid. And this is where the knuckles are going to be. And then the fingers taper together. They get sharper and pointier when they get to the fingertips. And then you can make them bumpy like that. But for right now, we are restraining from being too, we're restraining ourselves from being too detailed because we're just getting something down. This is a glorified stick figure is what this is. So we've done the hands, we've connected. My notes, where's my notes? My notes, trapezoids for hands. It's written right there. If I only read my notes, I would have known it was a trapezoid without thinking about it. Taper the fingers, and then the abdominal line. We're going to draw this abdominal line from the crotch straight up to the top of the neck. And we're going to add a contact lens shape, upside down contact lens for the collarbone. We're going to do some parallel lines for the neck. And then we're going to curve. So we're going to connect the neck to the shoulders with a S. Depends on the size of your S, depends on the position of your neck. And now let's add an egg shape for the head. And just like the other head, the flattest side of the egg goes on the side. The pointy side of the egg goes on the bottom. And a woman's chin is going to be smaller and pointier than a man's chin. So we're going to make sure that it is not square, it is pointy. And then I'm going to add a nose line where I want the middle of the head to be, for where I want the nose to line up. And let's just erase this because it's bothering me. This is bothering me. I'm done with that guideline. What's next? What could we possibly have forgotten to do on the woman's body? Oh, yes, here we go. So now, slightly above the rib cage line, we're going to make slightly above there, we're going to make another arch. And then we're going to, actually, we should have done this one first. Oops, ad break in progress. I will pause. All right, thank you for staying with me through that ad break. All right, so now I'm going to draw a slanted line that comes from the neck down to the side of the rib cage. And then this line is going to do the same thing. So now I'm going to curve, I'm going to connect this line to those slanted lines. And there you have the breast. So now you can contour the rib cage. Oh, what happened? That's not what I wanted. Did I forget anything? Forget anything? And then if you want to do hair, you can see what I do first is I find, oh, we forgot feet. That's all right. We'll get there. So when I look at the head, I imagine that there's an oval here. Same thing with this head. I imagine that there's an oval here for the side of the head. And then I cut that oval in half this way and cut it in half again that way. This is where the ear is going to along that quadrant. And then, as soon as you have the ear, there will be another tutorial at another time about the hairline. But as for now, it's just someday I will talk about the head. Head is a totally other discussion at another time. So I just want to add some hair so she looks female. Nothing wrong with wearing short hair, by the way. I wish more women would shave their heads. There's nothing wrong with shaving your heads. You don't look less female when you shave your head. All right. So now we forgot the feet. I forgot the feet at least. So just similar to what we did on the man's body, it's contouring these legs. We're going to draw some triangles again. Looks like I made her a little too tall, but that's okay. So let's draw the 30, 60, 90 triangle. And once again, we're judging the length of these legs based on the forearm. Because the forearm is the same size as your foot. Feel free to measure it if you don't believe me. And then on this side, let's draw a 45, 90, 45, 45 triangle. And the ankles for a woman's leg is going to be smaller than a man's leg. So this has to be fixed. Let's do some erasing here. Erasing. All right, and now we can add. What have I done? What have I done? I lost all my tools. I haven't lost them. Okay. I just want them to be exactly where I put them. So now, same thing with the ankle. Ankle bump is a slightly higher bump. Nope, I did that wrong. Slightly higher bump on the inside than it is on the outside. But the female bump is going to be not as pronounced. And then, just like the other foot on the other side, we're going to divide this into thirds. And then the inner third, we're going to leave that be. And then the outer thirds, we're going to cut those into sixths. And those will be the smaller toes, and the inner third is going to be the big toe. And then we have smaller, daintier nails. We're going to angle. We're going to angle the toes. Make this not as sharp. Curve the toes to make them look rounded at the bottom. And I didn't show you this on the other foot, but may as well. This is going to be like a stair step, and straight up, and then over, and then straight up again, and then over. And each of these stair steps points up to the ankle. Show you over here. It's going to be more pronounced over here. Angle, up, 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 angle, and again, angle, up, angle. So there we go. We have a man and we have a woman. So now, what are we going to do? Let's put some clothes on these figures. Let's get rid of this hand. All right, so why do comic figures actually, I have a problem with her leg. I have a problem with her forward facing leg. Undo, undo, cancel, chose the wrong option, transform, retransform is what I want. Make it skinnier, there we go. All right, clothing. How do you put clothing on? Hey, Tom Sugar Crow, how's it going? We're doing some simplified shapes. We're drawing some figures using the simplified shapes method. Feel free to watch the VOD if you want to get a refresher course on that. I know that you're quite a talented artist already. So what I'm going to do, let's erase the geometric lines. Let's make it look a little bit more human. Erase this straight line. There are no straight lines in nature. This up and down parallel line. Erase that, get that out of here. All right, so clothing. In comics, if you want to put clothing on a figure, here's what you do. Get ready for this. This is the sleeve. The sleeve is coming. Boom. Sleeve is done. Let's erase that heel right there. The reason that comics characters are wearing tights is so that they're easier to draw. Let's get rid of this. But I'm going to show you a little bit more about clothing than just making a cuff. And yep, let's get rid of this part. Let's get rid of this part. Let's get rid of that. Maybe there should be some, yeah, I think I did a little too much. Yeah, there should be some hip there. All right, let's give her some modesty, and you can have some shorts. Right there. Let's get rid of the pentagon that we drew earlier. Now, the reason that we drew this line is because that's where the abdomen is going to show up. So we're going to allow some of that. And then we'll give her this line right here. And we'll soften these lines. This elbow's a little too pointy. All right, so there's a superhero character. We are not going to discuss heads right now. And yeah, this other leg is a bit stumpy as well, so maybe it wouldn't hurt to fix that a bit. Uh, let's take care of this leg. Stumpy. That is not what I want. I want free transform. I don't think that did everything I wanted it to do. I think that is a little accentuated. Oh, man. Oh, my. Now the hip has to go. All right, so a lot of things are harder to do. This arm, yeah. I find it easier to do this on paper rather than having to do it digitally, because when I do it on my iPad, I have to zoom in. But on paper, I see the whole sheet at the whole time. So, but that is the method that I use in order to uh, estimate where the body parts are going to go. So